excessive purposeless violence, racism, sex, and criminal activities. Check out these clips to know yourself. For all the wrong reasons, we have Duke Nukem series at number 7. Duke Nukem first appeared in 1991, set in the near future, where the titular characters have to save the world from various evils. It follows a very standard format as the character collects items and weapons and works his way up to killing the big boss. Duke Nukem 3D was the first FPS for the franchise and was attacked by critics for its violence and sexual themes. The women in the game are treated appallingly, the majority are strippers or eye candy, and Nukem famously tells them to shake it baby. The character can also kick and punch the women for no real reason, although the game doesn't give any particular reward for doing so. Duke Nukem Forever, the long-awaited sequel to the Duke Nukem 3D, also received criticism for sexism as Duke scooped up struggling women and smacked them to stop them from trying to escape. This was named Capture the Babe, with the women being used as a capture the flag style trophy. Based on an earlier text adventure titled Soft Porn Adventure, which should really tell you all you need to know about why this game was controversial. The Leisure Suit Larry games have a simple premise. Larry wants to get laid. Larry is a middle-aged virgin with terrible taste in clothing and puns, who explores a variety of settings in an attempt to seduce women. To achieve this, the player must gamble with Larry's starting fund in order to earn money for gifts or to hire a prostitute, who will give him a deadly STD unless he also buys a condom. You can guess it. With extremely simple graphics, there is little actual sexual content in the game. Compared to modern games, this is almost prudish, with only a few pixelated boobs here and there. However, the focus on sex still bothered many people, and the premise of the game is of course deeply sexist. Number 5. Manhunt. This horror survival game as a player take on the role of a death row inmate who is captured by a sinister man called the Director. The Director takes him to a series of locations where the player must find ways to kill various enemies in order to survive. The game is graphically violent and encourages the player to use readily available objects such as blades, plastic bags, baseball bats to commit murder. Controversial for its extreme violence, there were calls for the game to be banned and reports that even the employees of Rockstar Games were uncomfortable with the level of violence. This controversy peaked in the UK when the murder of 14-year-old Stefan Perkira by his 17-year-old friend was connected to the game. A judge later found that the game was not a contributing factor in the murder, but the damage was already done, with some retailers pulling the game from shelves. The game that put first-person shooters on the map, Doom, is credited with changing the entire video game industry. Although it wasn't the first FPS made, it was definitely the first to achieve mainstream success as the player navigates through labyrinthine levels, killing various zombies and demons with explicit graphic violence and an array of weaponry. The game was condemned for its violent imagery and for putting the player in the shoes of a killer, but also for satanic imagery. Church groups spoke out against the game, and Germany even banned it in 1994. Doom Massacre in 1999, which was from the Columbine High School, as teens responsible for the shootings were passionate Doom fans. Call of Duty is an immensely popular franchise with a multitude of first-person shooter games within it. While all the games have come up against some murmurings of disapproval for violent and graphic content, one in particular caused outrage because of one specific mission. For the most part, Call of Duty missions are set with realistic war environments and targets for the player are enemy soldiers. However, in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, a mission called No Russian was included, where the player is deep undercover with Russian ultra-nationalist terrorists. The group enacts a massacre in an airport. The controversial issue was that although the mission does not require the player to kill civilians, it allows it. Where killing the enemy is generally deemed acceptable, the disturbing mission where civilians are being shot as they scream and run across the line. Although the level can be skipped, it was removed entirely from the release in Russia, and the game was modified elsewhere to give players the game over if they killed a civilian. Oh my god. One-on-one fighting games had been around for some time before Mortal Kombat appeared, but none were as bloody, brutal, or violent. Mortal Kombat not only involved much more graphic violence and lashings of blood, but it debuted the now famous fatality move. At the end of a final match, the game would boom finish him, and the player was able to slaughter their opponent, ripping out hearts and chopping off heads. Despite being somewhat tame by today's standards, the game was shocking at the time and caused outrage. The blood was later turned green to lower the realism, and the fatalities were edited, although not removed. Still, the changes weren't enough to calm the outrage, and Mortal Kombat was one of the games that inspired the creation of the Entertainment Software Rating Board, a rating system for video games in the United States, similar to the PEGI in Europe and Zero in Japan. Grand Theft Auto seems to be constantly at the center of legal battles and controversy. It's not surprising, given that the entire purpose of the game is to rise through the ranks of the criminal underworld, usually through violent crimes, assassinations, and of course, stealing lots and lots of vehicles. The game is famous for allowing players to not just purchase and enjoy the services of prostitutes during the gameplay, but to make it possible for players to run down the prostitute, killing her, and taking back their money. Players can also drive drunk, sell drugs, torture people in the game. The series has been banned in Brazil and condemned in various countries. MADD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Common Sense Media, Freedom from Torture, and Haitian and Cuban anti-defamation groups have all taken issue with various elements of the game. And it also holds the most controversial video game series in history according to the Guinness Book. Hope you guys liked my video. This is Dr. Shrivira again, signing out from newgeniusgamer.com. If you really like this video, please give a like, thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section. Do subscribe to my channel, and do let me know what top 7 or top 5 list I got to make next. And do you agree with my top 7 controversial games, or do you feel there are other games I might be missing out? Please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you.